Hello, this is Pastor Sbusiso Ngwenya. You are watching Insidembombela.
Welcome to this week's exciting episode of Insidembombela. I'm your host, Leo Gant. As you guys can see, we're back in studio after giving you guys back-to-back episodes on the road. Nkomazi treated us so well. We'll do it again, and other localities. We don't discriminate. Everybody's welcome. The world is our home. That's us, Insidembombela. We got you. On this week's exciting episode, we've got Pastor Sbusiso Ngwenya. He's a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to let him introduce himself. My man, introduce yourself to my people.
Greetings to the subscribers. My name is Pastor Sbusiso Ngwenya. Thank you for having me.
Dude, Bon. Don't worry, I will explain how you got here. But when I know, you are welcome. You are most welcome. We actually had a deal as production team to invite a holy person once a year. So last year we had Begilanga. That episode did very well. Awesome guy. So yeah, no pressure, okay. But no, just let's do this. Let's have a bit of fun in the process.
All right.
But before I get lost in all this wonderful conversation I'm about to partake in, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We love all the comments that's coming through, and we have a cool stalker as well. But she says positive things, but yeah, we're still waiting for you to pick up your t-shirt, but that's another story. My guy, welcome to Insidembombela. It's been a long time coming.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long time coming. I've been told to use kid gloves with you, so I will behave. I will behave.
So why were you told to use kid gloves?
No, I think I was told to use kid gloves because we've been doing this for a while, so they know like if you let Leo go, this can go sideways very quick.
We are misbehaved
very quickly. So T's and C's on some speed hump. Okay, Leo, speed hump. So literally that's how it goes. But I know I was just told you mean well, your heart is in the right place, and I should be kind, thoughtful, and all that jazz. So yeah.
You've been good so far.
Oh, okay, so far. Okay, cool. I like that.
You're coming along.
I'm coming along very nicely. Pastor Ngwenya.
Yes.
Tell us about your upbringing.
I grew up from a family of 8.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
children.
that.
I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers, including my family. We were 10. So a very huge family, big family. I'm one of the 3 boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you fit on the whole 10?
I'm number 6.
Number 6?
Yeah, I'm number 6.
Please tell me the boys are on top of you. You didn't have older sisters.
There's one older than me, and then there's one younger than me.
Younger
That
than
is
you.
the last born.
Okay.
Yeah, from a Christian family background. My dad is a pastor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
my dad is a pastor, a very, very strict pastor. So that's the hand that we grew under.
Yeah. Interesting choice of words. Hand. Okay. Okay. You know, over the years, I've been alive for a long time, and usually pastors' sons tend to be rebellious for no apparent reason. What happened to you?
Hey, it's like you've been there.
Dude, Bon, I've read the book, bought the T-shirt, but these guys are just difficult for no apparent reason.
I've been there.
So wait. So wait, now, how was your journey? Were you rebellious, or really you've always been sweet konyan?
Hey, I grew up being a very, very obedient child. Yeah, until some point, growing up, my life turned around 360. From being that good son, that trustworthy son, to being something else.
Okay.
Yeah, but by God's grace, I was done with school when I started being rebellious. I was done with grade 12. And then that's when I started living the other life. The one that was totally opposite to what I've been.
Wait a minute. Now I've got alarm bells, question mark, exclamation marks in the back of my mind. Hold my hand, Buddha, because I'm seeing flames. I'm seeing flames. What do you mean rebellious? What happened? What were you up to?
Everything. I'm even. Where do I start? How do I mention these things?
I don't. Well, basically, we don't want to know where the bodies are hidden.
Yeah.
If you manage to kill somebody in your past, let that go down with it. I don't want. It would be a sad day in hell when this footage gets used in a court of law on some. Now we just confessed, so I don't want to know that.
Let's run into criminal activities.
No. Positivity, Mitchum. Yeah. Positivity. Then let's keep it above board.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I turned 360, man. From I never wanted church. I never wanted. How do I put this? When you grow up, not drinking, not partying, I engage into that dirty life, the life of alcohol and, girls, all those things. I'm not saying alcohol.
I don't want anything,
that life whereby you are fully into it.
Yes.
Day and night, Monday to Monday, Sunday to Sunday. So that was the life, and to me it was new, but I got into it 100%, completely into it.
Well, I like that, actually, to be honest. I'm a big believer in when you do something, go full speed. So even if you're going off the rails, I'm afraid go full speed, because there's lessons to be learned in the spiral down. Because when you're on your way up, and later on, like in your current capacity, when you tell somebody about the dangers of alcohol abuse, you're speaking from a point of reference. Yeah. You're not just speaking because you heard somebody else tell you.
Yeah.
So you, my guy, are my guy, because that's exactly how it should work. This whole thing of people just preaching because they heard somebody at it, that's nonsense.
Yeah, but also another thing that I normally tell my congregations, and especially the young ones, it is a good reference, but sometimes it is also dangerous. I don't want to fool those who are coming after me to say they have to do those things so that they can have a reference, you see. Because sometimes I also say I received the grace of God, because some never made it out. Some died. I would get so drunk and sometimes tend to drive long distances. Some didn't make it out. Some died in the process.
That is true.
So for me, it was the grace of God to be over it, doing it fully, and after that, becoming alive. So if you are not there, don't even temper to go there. You don't want to make it a point of reference unless it happens just like it happened to me.
I hear you. Fully understand.
Yeah.
What I like about this life thing that we go through is that it's always better to learn through other people's mistakes and misfortunes, as opposed to through your own pain. By then, it's personal. It feels like you're under attack. the whole world has turned its back on you. So yes, we're not advocating for anybody to be there, but hey, it's
because even the consequences, I might have made it out
yes,
alive, but I've got many regrets. There are many things that didn't go well. There are many scars that I have today because of such journeys. There are many things that are forfeited because of such a journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pastor Ngwenya.
Yes.
God, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Okay, cool. You look 12.
But it's the grace of God.
You look 12, but
rejuvenation. No. I once looked older.
Okay, so I get that you've got good genes, no Levi's, but no Levi's, but yeah, I understand that you've not always been religious. So what was the turning point?
Maybe I don't know. I don't want to say to correct you concerning being religious. Growing up from a Christian family, my dad being a pastor, growing up from that biblical teachings, you understand? Even if you rebel, those things, they don't come out of you.
No.
You go out and do whatever, but whatever that you've been taught remains in you. It becomes part of your life. Even if you wish, there were times I wished God can just leave me. Yeah, for example, you go to a club and you see that someone is really enjoying, and you want to enjoy like that person, but something is busy whispering in your eyes, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. You understand? Sometimes you just we wish to take it off. It's like a jacket that you are wearing, but you can't take it off.
Yeah, that's
At
true.
some point I would want to take it off, but I could not because it's like pasted in you. So I think it's not per se diverting or letting go of I'll use the term religious, fine, for argument's sake. It's not per se that I let go of the Christian background that I got, or the teachings. They were part of me in that kind of life. They were in me.
I'm going to say, here's the thing. Foundation remains the foundation. The house might have been designed as a single-story house, but just because we kupulile now it's a double-story house doesn't mean that you messed with the foundation.
Yeah.
So your Christian background teaching as a 10-year-old, they still form part of you. You just chose to ignore a few of those teachings and find your own path back to God. That's all that happened. But the foundation has always been solid.
The foundation has always been solid.
My man.
I think it's very much important. It's something that I focus on much these days, that especially our generation, that it's very much important to teach them what is right. Whether they take it or not, let's just teach our kids what is right. 10 years after, 15 years after, your teachings will come.
Absolutely.
Will come to reality.
So when did you decide to become a pastor?
Becoming a pastor was not a decision. It was not a decision.
Okay, you have to talk through that. Now I'm waiting. Sip of my.
It's another reason that caused me to be rebellious. Because when I first received the calling, I did not want it. Then I tried to do other things so that God can let go of me. That's how I got deeper into the things of the world. Because I thought God would just let go of me, because I did not want it. I was called at an early age. But the calling made sense to me in 2011. That one, it was vivid. Like I don't want to go to the details because, maybe some will not understand. But the calling was stamped in 2011. And I was sure of it because of what has happened, because of what I heard and saw during that night. But now I did not want it. So I went deeper and deeper into alcohol and this dirty life so that God can just let go.
Yeah.
So I did not really decide until such a time when I had another vision for the third time. Then I surrendered. I surrendered.
If You are under the impression that I will not ask you about 2011. You are sorely mistaken. You are sorely mistaken. I apologize right now, but you cannot leave such a question mark over my head. What happened in 2011? You had 365 days. How bad was it?
2011. 2011, I was deep into things. I was deep. It's like I was reaching the peak or the orgasm of the dirty life that I was living. Until God intervened, because should God not have intervened, I was on the line of death. The way I was living, I was always on the line of death daily.
But don't you think that you are alive today because although when you had turned your back on the good Lord always looked out for him?
Sometimes, I always tell my peers that I normally hear some of them still saying, "My mother prays for me," and I would rebuke them and say, "Yeah, it's good that your mother prays for you, but now you are old. You must start praying for yourself and praying for your children." What I'm trying to say is that the prayers of my parents, because my parents knew that I'm called, and then they saw it before I knew it, so they were always praying for me. As stressed as they were because of the life I was living, they were also praying for. So the prayers of my parents also played a very big role. Plus, even myself, being in those situations, I had a friend. I still knows him. I had a friend. He's also a cousin of mine. We would go and party, but on our way back, when we are coming back early in the mornings, in the AMs, get rid of the deep house and all those things. We just stop everything and now start playing gospel music. So drunk, and we would do it wholeheartedly. And we never planned that, but after some time we noticed that this is what we do every time when we are heading back home.
Completely undiscussed, and it was automatic.
Exactly. So that's why we spoke about the foundation. Right. But what kept me is the prayers of my parents.
No, I get that. Their prayers helped, but things turned around when you joined their prayers, didn't it?
Things turned around on my that vision that I had when my sister passed away.
Sorry for jumping in, but if that was your third, what was number 1 and 2?
Number one.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, number one, I was still young. I wasn't sure if what I dreamed about was God. I was still not sure, but every day thinking that could have been God calling me. But I wasn't really sure because of the age. Like this guy in the Bible, when you read Samuel, God called him 2 times. And then he thought he was being called by Eli. So that was the same thing happening to me. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or it was really God, until Eli told him that when you hear the voice for the 3rd time, just say, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." Okay. The 2nd time, when the vision came, it was like I was in a dream, but I wasn't fully asleep. Then I woke up because I thought maybe I'm having a nightmare or something like hallucinations, you understand? So I think God noticed that, okay, I'm not taking it. Then I fell deep asleep. But in that dream, that's when I heard a voice saying, "Where is that voice that I used to hear daily, 5 o'clock in the morning?" My response to that was, "God, you heard me." He didn't say, "I am God speaking to you." But in that time, I knew that it was God speaking to me. So he said, "Yes, I heard you, and I am missing that voice," because we used to pray 7 days a week at home while growing up. But by that time, when I had this vision, I was already staying at my own place in the flats in Pretoria. Got rid of praying, got rid of everything.
That's Pretoria for you.
Yeah, just living the life I wanted to live, with an attempt as well to run away from God.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he told me that he's missing the voice. That's when he started to show me that I'm calling you. I want you to do my work. At that time, I remember I was still driving a white car. Even you know how I saw that car. It had some loud hailers on top, and I saw it driving in the street of my neighborhood. in that
Okay.
vision, saying, "This is where I want you to start. Start preaching here before you go somewhere. This is where I want you to start." So that was the second time. The third time was in 2015 when I lost my sister. That time he came in a dream. It was not a vision because I was fully asleep. And I saw like it was like the feet of a giant. I couldn't see the upper body, but it was from the knees upward, it was the clouds. Very, very bright clouds. And then he said, "I'm here. What is it that you want?" You know, being troubled by the lifestyle I was living, knowing that I'm called, my life was a mess. You know, it was a mess that I cannot even describe. I said, "God, I'm tired of this life. You know what I want. There's something that you told me in 2011. Can it just happen? Here I am. I surrender. Let it happen. So be it." So that was it. You know, I'm saying it so clumsily, né? Like maybe someone will not understand.
No,
I'm saying it like afloat.
no, I hear you. I hear you,
but actually it's something deeper.
no, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you, but it took you over 7 years to fully comprehend what was happening.
Exactly.
So let whoever who's hearing you say this now, let this be day number one to them fully realizing their potential. Basically, that's it. This is why we do this every Saturday. We could be drinking with every other person out there and basically acting a fool, but that's not us. That's not. We also have a calling. This is it.
Yeah.
We sit down, we educate, we, introduce our people to people like you to help them become better people. So now you've done. I'm sorry for the loss of your sister, by the way.
Thanks.
I've also lost a sibling myself.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
So now you have finally, full circle. The death of your sister showed you the light. What was the first step that you took after that happened?
After that happened, I was in a confusion because I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. So with an attempt of doing what God was saying I must do, I didn't realize that I needed to be saved. Being saved, I mean having to start afresh and accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Because, you know, it's so very much difficult when you grow up from church or when you're growing up in church. Because you know all these things. You know the Bible, you know how to pray. If they ask you to preach, you can preach. If they ask you to pray, you can pray. But the thing is, you're not saved.
That's true. You're basically acting a role.
You are acting a role, but there's no fire in there. So I try to commit myself by going to church every Sunday or whenever there were even the midweek meetings. I was by that time I had moved from Pretoria. I was in Barberton. So you know I'm trying to do what is right, but actually I'm not saved. And I learned a lesson that no man can attempt to live right without Jesus.
Sure.
That's what I've learned from that lesson. Until such a time where I had to say, "Lord, I need you. I cannot do this on my own." I started afresh, knowing the you know the road to salvation, because that's how I grew up. I did the right thing. I had to confess all my sins to God. That's when everything changed. And I told God that I surrender. Here I am. I can't do it. I know nothing. Can you start afresh and use me?
That's beautiful. Wiping the slate clean. I believe that's everything has to start.
And you know, with that experience, church experience, knowing the Bible, I said to myself, I'm going back to school. I want to go to the Bible school. I don't want to say I know because I grew up in that. I had to go back to school. So I also encourage young pastors, go to school, go to Bible school, study, learn. It's very, very much important. Don't just say I have a degree in human resource or whatever. It's not relevant. When you want to preach about the Bible, go to the Bible school. It's the Holy Spirit that teaches us and all those things, but go to the Bible school. You need it. It's very much important.
Pastor Ngwenya, tell us more about the sacrifices that you had to go through, especially based on where you were from, people that you were leading you astray. I'm doing connotations because you were an adult, so you were making decisions for you. So you cannot put the blame on anybody.
Exactly.
You were making decisions to be there and do 1, 2, 3. So, but what was the turnaround? Are any of them still in your life? What happened?
Mina, I'm blessed, I would say, because I had friends whom, I still have people that I had even before being saved. And I take those people as true friends. For example, like Ndalo. I was with him from high school. Through my rebellious journey, I was with him. I am a pastor now, I'm with him. I also had those kind of friends whom they just loved me.
Yeah, I know.
Because of what they were benefiting.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't really call them friends. But the true people who were in my life even before, they are still here even today.
Nice one.
Because when I got saved, I told them straight, guys, this is what is happening.
Count me out of 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, there are things we used to do together. 1, 2, 3.
I'm out.
But now, they said, man, we saw that long ago. We were never even enjoying with you because when we go out drinking, you would start to tell us. You would start to tell us about the Bible when you are drunk. So we knew this is coming.
We've been waiting. We've just been waiting for you.
So most of them, they just said, you have our full support. You have our full support. So I still have those people today, but those who were fake, they all vanished because there were no more benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was not the gazetting.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate such people, because at least you knew exactly where you stood with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, okay, fine. It's a friendship of convenience. Inconvenience for you, but it's convenient for them to have you in their life. Hallelujah for that. The Lord works in mysterious ways. Yeah, that's my takeaway from what you just said. Last question about your former life, because now we're gonna go into the light.
Okay.
Tell us about Campus Square.
Campus Square. I think Campus Square. I think when we arrived in Josie, it was Campus Square had just been opened. Yeah, Campus Square had just been
with
opened.
The news cafe and all of that.
With the news cafe and all of those things. Being a boy coming from Pinar, all those things were new.
Josie lights.
All those things were new.
Yes, sir.
There are lots of memories. The Josie life. I would say it aided. It aided because that's where my other eyes were also opened. The eyes that can see in the darkness. Those eyes were also opened because there are things that to be honest, there are things we didn't know. The things that were not in Pinar, the things that were not in Bombela. It was just our first time to see them that side. And engaging in that life.
All I know is that if you can happily live through staying in Pretoria, partying at C Square, Campus Square, going to West Dean, and coming back to Labori, and Ube Grand Empilwen, you had a higher power looking out for you, and that's all I'm gonna say on that matter. Your past life. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It was grace. It was grace. Looking back, sometimes I wonder how did I survive?
How am I still alive? I have those conversations.
Yeah,
how am I still alive? Opportunities die.
Campus Square, Mabopani Highway, Social Guve.
R80.
Weekend.
R80.
Akashi. That's grace. That's God's grace.
Sunny side.
God's grace.
Amen.
To me, it's a testimony. Listen. That God's hand is powerful.
Are you enjoying your life as a young pastor?
peacefully. I am enjoying. I'm at my best. They call it cloud 9. I'm at my best.
No, you went past. You're on 19 right about now. You're on cloud 19. Cloud 9? No. We review me. Like it's done. This is now.
You know what? Well, I've grown up to learn that peace is everything. Peace is everything. So I'm at my best. The peace that I have.
Noma ngabe impeni iyaliva but moya wami uphilile. Moya wami wena lo mlomo wami ukhulume ukuthi ngiphilile. In the name of Jesus Christ, I am healed. As you speak healing over your life, uNkulunkulu uyakuphilisa. Udala kuphilisa. Ngoba lokunye uNkulunkulu uthi mandla ekufa nokuphila muwabelile elimini lwenu. Amen. Sometimes God heals you now. Sometimes ukuphilisa nyalo mara wena results abo abukeke I process. Imagine uphilile, but because you are feeling the pain, bese kuthi wena ngiyagula.
So tell us about the Rafa Christian Center.
Rafa Christian Center International as a Christian organization, or it's a church or a movement, whatever you call it. It was founded by Apostle J.T. Sambo, a man from Matsulu. And then Rafa Christian Center International, we are preaching Jesus Christ, crucified and resurrected. Our mission is that we are raising a generation of worshippers, people, or a generation that will be free from operations, demonic operations, whether mentally, socially, financially. People who will live in the fullness, the fullness of God, raising a generation of worshippers who will be totally free from such operations. So yeah, that's Rafa Christian Center International. We are more in healing and deliverance, though we cover all the biblical aspects as well.
Amen.
Yeah.
I know of your bunch at Emoyeni. Is it the only one?
Emoyeni actually is the main. That's where everything started.
Yes,
we
sir.
have a branch in Babatin.
Okay.
We also have a branch in Matsulu.
Yeah.
No,
I like that. Were you aware that there's a Rafa Christian church in Windsor, Canada?
At first, I was not aware. I picked it up some other time when I was, I don't know, I think I was searching something. Then I came across it, but I wasn't aware.
Yeah, because I found that one before. I had to be specific about where am I looking for this thing.
Yeah.
I know that Mbombela and Windsor are so far removed, but the moment you guys added international, because the full name is Rafa Christian Church
Center International.
Okay, sorry, Rafa Christian Center International.
Yeah.
That word international is exactly
that. Something.
It triggers something, and then but anyway, the good news is that I have never heard of any church being successfully sued, so I think you're safe.
Yeah, I've heard that there is, but we are not. We are one in the body of Christ, but we are not in terms of denominations or organizational.
Yes,
we are two separate organizations.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, you were introduced to me as a pastor, but then I actually found out that you are actually also an avid gardener. How did that come about? I mean, Ndalo,
Bonsai and garden.
Yeah, pastor, gardener.
You know, my dad. Some they call him a bur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people tend to forget that the word boer means farm. Yes. I mean, it's just an Afrikaans word for farmer.
Yes. And, there are words that he used to tell us with my brothers, especially me and my older brother, because the other one was very young. He used to say, you can make your own Johannesburg here at Pinar. Don't go to Johannesburg or to Nelspruit and then now you start to wonder, see beautiful things. Create your own beautiful thing.
Facts.
So we grew up our home at Pinari, we have a very big yard. So we were doing gardening, doing vegetables, beautiful lawn, flowers, and taking care of the garden. He even bought a lawnmower for me at an early age. So I just got into gardening from an early age. From an early age. So it got into me, and I fell in love with it.
Nice one.
My firstborn son is 18 years old now. I named him Ndalo. Back. I was a bit younger.
I'm sorry, what does Ndalo mean?
Ndalo means nature.
Okay. Oh, I get it now.
Because it's not per se gardening, per se. I'm just a man of nature.
Ne.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
We as insidembombela, we love greenery and scenery. Like you should see our faces light up whenever there's anything with a view. And we literally at home we find our peace in anything that, putting our fingers in the soil. To us it's more of a connection with the Almighty. Everybody has got a calling. That's how
I get you.
Yeah, that's our relationship with the good Lord. But then you live in Bombay.
Yes.
Why bonsais? It could have been cycads or aloes or anything, like total 100% indigenous plants from the area. Why bonsai?
I don't want to use the word weird or what, but I find myself doing things that most people are not doing.
Okay.
I don't say, okay, now I sit down, I want to choose something different. I just find myself doing those things. I grew up liking paintings. I used to like paintings, but never had that opportunity to paint because of the background, you understand?
I get you.
Yeah, I never got an opportunity to paint. I also I heard you talking about just before we started that you wanted to watch something to do with what's the word? Those racers.
Oh yeah, the Formula One.
Yeah, I was that kind of a person. I was never into soccer. I used to love different things. I don't know how. I can't give an explanation. Even when it comes to farming, I just fell in love with the art of plants. Making something with my hands. A bonsai, you create it, you make it. A bonsai is not natural. Yes, you take a natural tree, but you make it to be something else.
Yes.
So I just fell in love with it.
Okay. Oh, and to those who don't know, we're old enough to remember the first Karate Kid movie. That tree that Mr. Miyagi fetched from the cliff, that's the bonsai. But anyway, that's fine. I don't want to bore you guys. Take it from a weird guy. You are weird. I don't want you to go through life thinking that you're not weird. No, I can't lie to you. Yeah, you are weird. I'm weird.
No offense. I am, man. I am.
Okay, sharp. I'm happy you took it with a smile. Yeah, so, but I think as weirdos, we need to stick together.
True.
So bonsais, I don't think you answered that one. Why bonsais? It could have been anything else. Why bonsais?
I just fell in love with the art, the working. You give attention to the tree.
Yes, and then if you don't, it dies.
It dies. It gets out of shape.
Yes.
Like yourself. When you don't take care of your body, you get out of shape. Even if you're alive, it can be alive. It can grow, but it will be out of shape.
That is true.
What I've learned. When you are working with a bonsai, you just fall in love with it. It's a way of distressing. You wake up in the morning, you trim it here and there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an activity on its own, other than planting a tree and leaving it to grow. Just look at it. A bonsai, you get into contact with it.
Absolutely.
With your own hands. The trimming, the wiring, the shaping. Yeah. Myself, especially being a Christian, I know some of the things they most people tend to relate them, especially Chinese and bonsai. There's some spirituality involved and all those things, but I myself, I'm not into the spiritual part of it. I'm just in
the funny part is as much as you don't think that you are an investor in that particular way of thinking, it's already formed part of you, in a sense that it has calmed you down. It has made you look forward to change and adapting to it.
Okay.
It made you look forward to making something out of nothing.
That's eye-opening.
And unfortunately, you cannot be in an environment and the environment has 100% no impact on you.
Yeah,
The world does not work like that.
I get you.
So whatever you think you don't partake in, it has already partaked in you.
I get you.
Okay.
I get you. You've made a point.
My man, my man. We're here to learn. Nobody knows everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody knows everything.
Definitely.
So, do you think that they make good gifts? Yeah, the bonsais.
A bonsai is very dear.
Yes, it's a member of the family.
I once wrote a post on Facebook to say, once you ask for it or once you demand it, it's no longer a gift.
Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to bring one here as a gift to you guys, but I didn't buy a proper pot. So,
ladies and gents,
but
that's
it's
an
still coming.
IOU. Ne? That's an IOU on camera.
But it's
Okay,
still coming, and then you will keep it on this desk. So why am I bringing this up?
Yes, sir.
Because of the question, can you gift it? Can you give it to somebody as a gift? Yes, because it's dear to the owner.
Yes.
You value it, and I believe when you give a gift to somebody, you need to value that gift.
Absolutely.
You're not just throwing something that you don't value. I don't consider such as gifts. So yes,
you can give it as a gift.
Definitely.
So how does the pricing look like?
It's just like paintings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you understand the prices of paintings, you know, somebody can just say, are you okay upstairs? Why are you paying so much for this painting? You cannot even see what it is. You just take a brush and do makoporosh, and then you say 20K. What are you paying for? So it has got its own people who are willing to pay a fortune for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All I know is that there's a guy in Amsterdam who took an empty canvas, framed it, and sold it for 18 mil.
Exactly. And the person purchasing it for that amount knows what he's doing.
Understood it.
Yeah. So we have people who are paying fortunes for bonsais.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you're still running away from the actual answer.
Okay.
What's the actual? Give me a ballpark figure.
It depends. Number one, it depends how old the tree is.
Yes.
I think the year has got a much effect on the pricing and the type of the tree that you are growing.
Okay.
It has got a lot of effect. They go up to 100K, even more.
Yes, that's true.
But the one that I've seen literally in Pretoria, it was 45,000.
Yes.
And it was less than 5 years old.
Okay.
So the prices
they
depends. They differ. It depends on the age and the type of the tree that you have.
Okay.
Even the shapings.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
There are a lot of factors that you can consider.
Okay. So now, the one that you sold, what's the highest amount?
The highest that I have now is 4.9.
Okay.
Because I'm still an enthusiast.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The one that I have is 4.9 and the cheapest is 490.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Once I get it, do I still have to work on it?
You have to work on
you have to on it. It never stops.
You have to work on it. If you don't want to, I charge. If you want me to come every 3 months, 2 months to come and shape it, report it, because we report it either once in 6 months or once a year, depending on the type of the tree. We report it. You need to change the pots. You need to wire it, shape, trim it. So you pay for that if you want somebody to do it for you. But it's more affectionate when you do it yourself.
That's true.
Yeah, you know. Maybe I'm the one understanding, but it's much better when you do it yourself.
That's true. I think what I would suggest would be that if you are considering to get yourself a bonsai, pay for that first trimming and have a good look over the gentleman's shoulder and find out what's needed and what's not. And we're all family. Then you can talk. He can talk you through. 6 months later on some okay sharp. We are on the stage of this relationship now with your plant. This is what I suggest that you do.
We also provide trainings, and if you are interested, you just pay me a visit. I don't have a site somewhere. It's in my property. It's in my garden. They are in my garden. So you just pay me a visit. You get few tips there.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's training. Wait, do you charge for training? And
Yes.
do you have classes, and
Yes.
how often?
Yes, currently we don't have formal classes. We don't have formal classes, but I do charge if somebody comes, and we arrange that. We arrange that. If somebody wants to come and learn a few things, we charge, and then.
Okay. I think I got fixated on the bonsai because it's part of your company name.
Yeah.
But what else does Ndalo offer?
Okay. The name of the company is Ndalo Bonsai and Garden.
Yes.
Pty Ltd. I've learned. There's a man called Dion in Pretoria. He said to me, "What you like must pay you." What you like or what
Fully
you love
understand that one.
must pay you. Sometimes it's a way God make you to love that thing so that it can also bring bread on your table. We also do landscaping. We do garden designs. We do maintenance. We do irrigation systems. Yeah, you name it.
Do you have a staff complement at Ndalo? Do you have people working under Ndalo, whether as volunteers or as full time?
I have part time, depending on the amount of work that we have. If we have much work, that's when I know I have.
You know
guys that I
exactly
call,
where to go.
who to go to. Yeah,
Okay.
I know where to go, who to call, and then we just work together. We finish whatever project that we are busy with.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How do people get a hold of you for Rafa Christian Center International and Ndalo Bonsai and Gardening?
Okay, let's start with Rafa Christian Center International. We have our Facebook page. You just search Rafa Christian Center International in Bombela. Then you will find us there. And then there are contacts there. There's an email address. There's a phone number in case you need to contact us directly. But that's where you can find us. More information. Our services are available online. Every meeting is available online. Sundays, midweek services, they are always available on Facebook. We are also available on YouTube and on Instagram.
Okay. What are the handles on YouTube and Instagram?
It's Rafa Christian Center International.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Mr. Ndalo?
Ndalo Bonsai, we are on Instagram. It's Ndalo Bonsai and Garden. That's it. That's how you find us. And then my number is 068 257 8104.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for welcoming us back into your homes, your tablet, your car, all that jazz. It's always nice to spend quality time with you guys. We're blessed to know such people. Let's go together with them and go through our efforts and all that jazz. I'm still your host, Leo Gand. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. And we're loving those comments. The comment rate has gone up over the last couple of weeks, and it's beautiful. And P.S. to those who have the tea, show some love. Wear the tea, wear the t-shirt, take a picture, put it online, tag us so that we can all share the love and share the positivity. Once again, I'm your host, Leo Gand. Insidembombela. Out.
Embusweni wezulu ngaphesheya